Hello, hello. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Back to channel Y.O.B. Good way to do this, but I'm just probably do it like this. Doesn't matter. This is just a quick podcast. Tonight's topic is not everything feels fake now. Nothing feels real. It's like nowadays, it's like when I wake up, it's like I'm still dreaming. Hello, good evening. But yeah, tonight I'm just doing a simple vlog. Hello, how is everyone doing? But yeah, everything nowadays is just, it feels like fake. Yeah, everything nowadays feels fake. I don't know, it's just like, and it's like everybody is saying the same thing too. I'm not the only one that's saying that. I don't know. It's like, the world, I don't know. It's just like, with everything going on, I don't know. This feels like we're living in the movie Idiocracy. I don't know. And people, it's like they're all like acting like they're like clones or body doubles. I don't know. It's like there's a part of me that's like maybe I'm over exaggerating and it's not real. And how it's like people I don't know, it just feels like people just don't feel real. There's still some really cool people, you know, there's some really cool people out there, but it just feels like, I don't know. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it just feels like something's not right with society nowadays. And it's like, and I mean, it's not like anything like really. It's sort of been the same. It's just like kind of ever since 2020. You know, things have really gone crazy because it's like it's always been kind of. I've always since I was like little, I've always noticed people are always kind of weird. Hey, hope everyone's doing good tonight. This is just a pop up um live stream. I I work Monday through um Friday. Thank you. I saw you yesterday. Yeah, I made a couple videos yesterday. But yeah, it just feels like society. I subbed and light. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Today's Monday. We're gonna stay positive this week. Yes. Uh-uh. Hmm. I just work in manufacturing. It's not anything special. But yeah, society just feels really fake. And it's just like it's just really obvious now. I guess it's just because due to the circumstances, it's exposed how fake society is. I mean, there's so many things going on that there should be like a level of like urgency with people, but people still like seem like they're not even. I mean, I guess you gotta live, but at the same time, it's almost like I don't know. It just feels like a dream for me. It just feels like sometimes I'm like, I'm not even from this planet. And it's just, you know, that's why I like every time I go out and sit, like around people, it just feels like, I don't know. I meet cool people. There's some really cool people that I meet, and I get along with, and we have really good conversations, and they're really, they're real. And then there's people that I meet that are just like, oh, you get a sense that they're not real. Like they look real, they talk, they look human, but it's like they're not even they're like soulless. And it's like everybody that I meet. That's good. That's like family, that's like friends, that's romantic partners, that's people at work, you know. Maybe it's just because maybe just because I'm getting older and I got my but it's probably because I'm getting older and it's just more obvious. I don't know. I was getting more sensitive to, you know, toxic people and fake people that has just become more obvious. And so I enjoy being by myself like most of the time. Even on my breaks, I literally just go somewhere by myself. And it's like, I don't know. There's a lot of really cool people out there, you know, but I feel like it's getting worse every year. As long as people have cell phones, as long as people are being indoctrinated into these systems. Mhm. I'm 30 years old. Yeah, and I spend more time by myself than around other people. Mm. But yeah, I try to. It's like nowadays I try to just stay to myself as much as I can. I can fake it, but really I love to be alone. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the same with me. It's like I could fake being around people, you know. I could fake being around people, but I rather be by myself because I enjoy, just my having peace. You know, I enjoy like just not being around conflict because it feels like nowadays is everybody's trying to either get something from you or like lower your frequency, like kind of like dehumanize you. It just feels like there's not a lot of people that enjoy being around each other and supporting each other. Mm, like feel the mood in the room with this fake deep. uh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to kill the mood. This is what it is. You know, maybe that's the thing. I still think maybe it is me. Maybe I am just really depressed, or you know, I never said that I'm not like the problem. But it is what it is. I enjoy my peace, but sometimes I get weird because some people are very extrovert. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like maybe I'm just really introvert, and I get very uncomfortable around extroverted people. And it's like I don't hate people because they're extroverted. You know, but I don't know, man. I feel like nowadays this is something else. This is like invasion of the body snatchers. Like it just feels like it's not even extroverted. It's like it feels like people are just like soulless. You know, because even though there was always extroverted people and introverted people back then, as I was growing up, It just felt like people were way more honest and real. More nowadays, it's like people are like performative and they're like, I don't know, man. And then it's like people don't like you when you're honest. It doesn't matter like what kind of person you are either. You could be extroverted or introverted. If you're just an honest person, then it's like people society doesn't like you then. God bless you, bro. God bless you, smog. The this I don't know. TYR. Yeah, you can scroll down to watch someone else. Yeah, I think that that's another thing too, even on when I do live streams, like people that I know people like to troll because it's entertaining, but it's kind of like, is that really entertaining? I mean, like, I don't know. I could be on live stream. I'm just to myself. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad, but I don't know. It's like it's getting to the point now where I don't even like being around anybody. It's like I used to be more like social, like, and maybe just because I'm getting older and due to life experience, it's kind of made me more cautious of who I keep around as a friend. But I don't know. I just feel like nowadays I just don't trust people like at all. Maybe it's because of all the mass shootings and stuff, and I don't know. It's just and then with watching a lot of like true crime documentaries and stuff. That stuff is kinda like probably made me tweak out and just, like, look at everybody because I remember seeing something on YouTube, about a kid that was friends no, he was, like, in England, right? I think you guys probably heard of this. He used to be a YouTuber, and he used to, like, show himself, like, kind of, like, parkouring on rooftops and going to places he's not supposed to, and then this kid, I don't know, he got depressed or something, stopped making those videos. And then he got some friend that kind of like got him, inspired him to go back and start doing it. And then they get drunk, and then one day this friend just kills this kid out of nowhere in the woods, and it's just like, what the hell, you know? And something about that story, and just the way the kid killed him is just like so sadistic and evil. That was just like, oh my god, And it's just like ever since then, I've been like, man, I don't trust nobody. I think people, and it doesn't have to be like where someone's killing you or something. It could just be treachery, just someone at work that was always your friend, but then one day just throws you under the bus for their own monetary gain. A family member that knows you're like extremely depressed and then still wants to pick petty fights for you with you. And then when you lash out, use your anger against you, it's just where it's like a, a, like a it's like a labyrinth of like punishment. And it's just like it feels like this world is meant to dehumanize us, because it feels like the only one that thrive are the ones that do not care, or apathetic, or the ones that are, you know, just like very cruel and barbaric. And it's like the apathetic ones look up to the barbaric ones. Yes, they'll be nice to the empathetic ones, but when it comes down to it, they're always going to run towards the barbaric ones. You know, and that's why it's just I feel like people just don't feel real anymore. It feels like we're becoming animals. Like we're just basically like survival of the fittest. But I mean, that's not society. That's the rules of the jungle. You know. And it's like we're seeing here basically, and it's literally like Animal Farm now. It's like we're animals dressing up in suits, you know, pretending to have rules and morality. You know, even there's like a bunch of fake Christians that talk about God and God, but then they can vote for Donald Trump, a man who's openly cruel, treats women horribly, is obsessed with money, is racist. Um, and but and don't think don't let me confuse you and make you think that I support Democrats. Democrats and liberals are as cruel and weird at themselves. They push, heathenism and debauchery, and it's like it's both sides are two wings of the same bird, and that's why I just don't feel like I relate to anybody. That's why people say you support this group, and it's like I don't support any group. I support good people, you know. And it's just like it just shows you human beings have been mentally destroyed in this world. I think that's something that's seriously wrong with a lot of humans. You know, this thing is a lot of people in this world are just like mentally ill. You know, nope. And I don't know if I'll ever find one because I just don't have trust in humanity. I don't think I'm from this planet, honestly, spiritually. I don't think I'm from this planet. I think everybody is just kind of I think everybody's just kind of losing their minds nowadays. You know, it just feels like you can't trust anybody. You can't trust you could be around someone for like years and yeah, you could be around people for years and still be surprised. You know, that's why I've not made it like an effort to be like, it's just like I just not made an effort to even try to be like put myself around people anymore because I think that there's a lot of soulless people in this world. There's a lot of soulless, demented people in this world. People and money is their god. Money is really their god. You know, that's why I find more peace is being by myself. And it's like even now I don't even like want to listen to podcasts or television or music or anything because it just feels like all this stuff is just a way to control us psychologically. You know, and it's like it really is like all it feels like all of all these people are just gone. It's like I can't even call them people anymore. It feels like I'm surrounded by just ghosts. You know, and I keep saying this too, that it really is like the quiet rapture. It's like I'm telling you, man. It's like the quiet rapture. It really is like it's like the quiet rapture. It just feels like everyone's just an illusion. Well, and thank God that I have love for myself because I feel like if I didn't, I would be very, very lost right now. Very, very depressed. But yeah, it just feels like sometimes life is like a dream, weird dream. And it's like the older I get, it gets more surreal. But maybe it's just because of everything that's going on. Everything happening in the world is making life feel surreal. But I don't know, man. Life has always kind of felt weird to me. Life has always kind of felt like just strange. I mean, even since I was little, when I was a little kid, I saw these like orbs, these white orbs. I still remember that. I was like a little child. I still remember seeing these like white orbs. And it was like, I just remember, and I had dreams where I was falling from the sky and stuff. And I saw the shadow in front of my bed. You know, so I was like, I've always had this weird feeling that I was not from this planet. Like something's just not, I just don't fit in. You know, and then that's the thing too, is like, how can I be attracted to people that I don't feel like I'm in the same species with? And it's just like it's like life for me is like being on an island, like spiritually. It really is like being on an island because there's just like nobody. It's like that Pink Floyd song. Is there anybody out there? Because it truly feels like, is there anyone out there? Because it just feels like people are soulless nowadays. Feels like people are completely soulless. And literally, it's like everything's small talk. Everything is just so mundane. You know, and it's like, and you can't. There's no middle ground. You know, you can't. You know, you can't be. People can't look at you as like, oh, you're capable of being outgoing and fun. You know, unless you are like heathenistic and like cruel. You know, and it's like that's the thing. It's like it's like they kind of put you in a box. Like, oh yeah, you're a nice guy because you have standards or some sort of you know you know I don't know, decency. They think that the only way for you to be outgoing or ambitious is to be like cruel. But that's like a lot of these people get their inspiration from the media and from like music, and then music tells them to be cruel and to get power. It isn't. Well, I mean, there's way more stories back then about people, you know, sharing and being, you know, considerate and friendly, and how you get power from actually love rather than hate. You know, it's just it feels like it's like we're in The Walking Dead, literally. It's just like life feels like The Walking Dead. There's just so many people are just, I don't know. Life is definitely like a dream. Made them, and AI has definitely made them like zombified. I think that the way people didn't push back is so telling of how our society is just brain rotted. Like how people just accepted AI without any pushback. Like nobody even it's like AI is taking our jobs, and people are just like, "Well, hey man, you can make a video of yourself, fighting a penguin." It's just like this is just that's why I'm like I can't anymore. It's just like I feel like I can't look AI up in Hebrew. I'm gonna do that. See what that sounds interesting. The crazy thing is all this stuff is just says like it's just symbols. You know, it just feels like we're all like animals in a zoo. This just feels like we're all like animals in a zoo. It's like I don't even want to go outside anymore. I don't even want to be around people. I feel like people are just there's something wrong with people. It's like it's not even that I don't fit in. It's like I used to feel like, oh, I can't fit in with anybody. I don't relate to anybody. And then it's just like, but now it feels like I can't fit in with anybody. You know, it just feels like everybody is so, I don't know. Keep your circle small. Yes, that's the thing. I definitely, I'm not, I'm very picky of the people I have around me. I know I definitely keep, I definitely keep, I try to keep my friends like, in a small number. I don't really, and it's honestly, I don't really have that many friends. Like I was homeschooled when I was younger. When I was little, I was like homeschooled. So all my life I've been kind of trained to kind of, be by myself. Dude, are you okay? I'm fine. I'm doing all right. I'm just trying to stay, positive during the end of the world. It's like that's another thing. Everyone's saying, "Are you okay?" We are in World War III. I don't know how you're not okay. How are you okay? That's the thing kind of I question. It's like the Epstein files, everything going on, like the what's going on in Gaza. Iran, the gas prices going up. Like how are you okay? I don't understand. Like I think I'm okay. All things considered. Ugh, You're uh, one of a kind. That's why you stay to yourself. I feel like I am. I mean, I literally can't find anybody else who I relate to. Yeah. And I mean, it's not like I'm sad because I grew up, like I said, as I was Hebrew. Well, I don't know. I was Hebrew. I studied Christianity when I lived with my grandmother, and then, but most of my life, well, like until I was in fifth grade, I was homeschooled. And then when I got out of homeschool, I went to public school, and I got picked on like viciously by like all these gangbanger kids and then some of the yuppie white kids. So it's just like that's just I don't know, and even all like the different other that's why I just kind of learned to be by myself. I was the type of kid that went to art class and ate lunch by myself, and so it's like people that insult me. It's like it's nothing new. It's like I've always been an introvert, and I've always been kind of weird. You know, I'm okay because I have a real life and I don't spend all day on media. You think you're special? No, you're on media right now telling me. See, this thing is like, it's hilarious. That's the thing. It's like, and I'm glad. God bless. I have a sense of humor because you know, people that even when they're trying to hurt your feelings is like you're not even making sense. Like, what? You're literally on social media trying to insult someone on social media saying, I don't spend my time on social media. You think you're special? I got a life. Well, then why are you sounding? I'm not even mad at you. Why are you getting mad at me? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. It's like, you think you're special? It's like, maybe you should get off the internet. You're the one yelling at someone else online, getting heated, about to crash out. Crash out talking about you have a life. I'm literally chilling right now. Like, I'm just minding my business. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I can't even get mad. Like, it's just so weird. Look how much time you spend. Because this is kind of like my journal I do live. It's like I'm doing this because I want to share my thoughts. I don't get it. I don't get it. Let me help you so you could, because he's bored. He's bored. Let me help him. Did I get him or did I accidentally? Oh, thank goodness. I thought to make sure. But yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. You should. It's better just ignore people. You know, it's just. I think it's just like even when I was a kid, I used to get picked on all the time, and I at a certain point I just stopped. And then, but then it's like when you stop caring, then you got people though, almost team like support the bully and be like, you need to defend yourself. And it's like, bro, I deal with this nonstop. It's like this is like I'm just exhausted. Is your hair real? I mean, it seems pretty real to me. Even though I'm starting to, I notice I'm balding. Definitely, I'm starting to thin on I'm getting those cowlicks because it's definitely. I noticed on my videos like a year or two ago, I didn't have that, but I'm definitely starting to get. I think it's from stress. It's like the past 2 years have been like the worst years of my life. Like the past 2 years were like horrible. Like I'm ready for a great reset. I'm ready for everything to just stop. Cause I don't know, this world is fake. You know, and it's like I don't believe in like organized religion. I believe in the truth is just very obvious. It's inside all of us. And I think the more we love each other, the more we can actually hear, the truth from one another. But we're That's why the enemy has made it where we're so competitive and hateful and greedy and lustful, you know. So you are a believer? Yes, I am. I'm not perfect. I'm just that's the thing. People don't know how to read me. I think that's the thing. I get treated badly because everybody thinks I'm weird because like no one can get a read on me. Like everybody always is like, what kind of person are you? Because I'm never like I don't even know who I am. See, that's the thing. I don't even know who I am. I kind of just go with the flow, and it's just like I don't really judge other people for what they do because I'm still trying to figure it out. You look depressed, G. I mean I feel okay, but I think mentally I've been so depressed that in my eyes and what's going on in the world is so bad that in my eyes I can't hide it. It's like sometimes people could just tell you're stressed the hell out just due to your eyes. But yeah, I just I don't know. I just I feel like the world is on fire and nobody cares. Little, kids are being trafficked and are disappearing, and God only knows what's happening to them. And I'm the type of person that stays up at night. That's another thing. Ever since those files came out, I've been sitting up thinking like, how are we adults just sitting here chilling? And it's like right now that shit's still happening, and no one's doing anything about it. That's pretty fucking scary. Pretty scary. And then I was watching this one video about, what children what children are thinking like about the files because it's like you do know they know about that shit too. And they have more time on their hands than adults. Adults have to go to work. Kids have more time to sit around and think about the stuff. You know, and all the kids are saying is that they feel that they are being betrayed by their parents, that they're the adults in their lives that really just don't care. And instead the thing is it's not that it's like we are just ignoring it. It's that they look at us like we are in on it, like we are consenting it. That's what the kids look at us as adults right now, and that's what it stresses me out because I can feel all this toxic energy. And people think if we stick in our bubbles and watch, CNN or liberal news or Republican news, Fox News, or listen to Bernie Sanders or listen to Donald Trump, and ignore the truth, it's just the truth is that this is not good, guys. That's the thing. The truth is that we're living in an evil world. When he has people come together, we can fight evil. Yes, I agree. Big Tony 2232. Yes, that's so true. When we as people come together, we can fight the evil. Yes, I totally agree with that. You know, but that's the thing is that the elites are trying their best to not have that happen. And that's why we spend our time judging each other for our differences rather than our similarities, and, like then exactly everything such as the files being controlled the war and just a description we're meant to be here on earth to eat experience life, not all that has and will happen. And that's the truth is that our job is to live life like the animals and stuff like but not like heathenistic savages and like animals that are like the birds, the fish, the bears, the chickens, the squirrels. Like just eat of the nature and share the nature, make live off the land. This land was meant for all of us. But somehow along the way, a few humans realize, hey, I could get a rock or a club and kill somebody and then use that and threaten and get a few other cavemen to come along and say, hey man, if we all team up with these clubs and threaten everybody and say, hey, if you all don't do what we say, like give us all the things you have, and build for us and harvest for us, then we'll kill you. you know and then I think what happens is that we realize fear could be used as a weapon. I think that's the biggest downfall of humanity is that we realized fear could be used as a weapon. Because and I mean animals use it too, but they use it only for logical things. Like you know they use it for territory. They use it for protection. They use it to hunt, to eat. You know, but humans, we use it for sadistic means. We use it for greed. We use it for control. We use it for entertainment. Think about the Roman Colosseums. We go to we go to Rome and we see those Colosseums and we're always like, wow, this is so tripped out, so beautiful. It's like, do you understand? Back then, they used to have people sit around like it was a football game, eating pop. Well, not I don't know what they're eating snacks at that time, drinking wine, watching gladiators and slaves get fight to the death and or get eaten alive by lions. That should happen in real life, and people watch that as entertainment. Like, yeah, oh, I like how like literally watching like that's like a snuff film, and they were like, I'm pretty sure there's kids that were there too. They were pretty much it was pretty much community snuff films happening back then. So you think that humanity doesn't have a sadistic nature inside of it? Like we're and even paintings about how people rioted, people rip people's limbs apart and stuff, and do all kind of sadistic shit. And if you failed as a king, like that's the thing. Like it's like life. The life is not sweet and nice. Like people out here are fucking scary. Like they're demonic. And I think we have been lied to because we have consumed too much American Western media about like from Walt Disney and all that, and that everything is just it's like as long as we ignore the horrors of the world, it doesn't exist. Like as long as we lie to each other, and tell our kids Santa Claus exists and all that. And that's another thing, we indoctrinate our kids from a young age with lies. You know, we indoctrinate our children with lies from a young age. You know, and it's just like we tell them like about Santa Claus, we tell them about all these things that are just not real. To comfort them, to tell them like it's just you know, and but the thing is that I'm not even upset anymore because I know I'm gonna be going to a heavenly place. I feel like I've been blessed, you know, a lot in my life, and I think the worst things that have happened to me is yes, yes, you're true. That's I like that you pointed out Santa equals Satan. If you guys put those letters together, that is true. That's all I'm saying. Like they're teaching kids about Satan when they're like little, So it's just like we're already indoctrinated into this, and even Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. There's a lot of occult stuff in there, you know, and it's like it's just like I just feel like we're living in like the end times. We really are living in the end times. It's like because it just feels like I don't know. There's been a shift. There's something in the air. It feels like it's like a weight, like a heaviness. You know, and it's like it's hard for me to even breathe. And it's like I think that end times is not shouldn't be looked at as a bad thing. It should be the end times of the old world, the way of looking at things. And it's like if you don't psychologically adapt to it, you know, you won't be able to, you know, you won't be able to overcome, you know. And it's like it just feels so weird. It feels like I mean, I feel like a lot of generations probably have had their, their end time kind of event. I mean, look at the people in Pompeii. I bet they didn't think that would happen, and then everything they built, everything they believed in, just went away in seconds. You know, and there's a lot of people out here that I really do admire. You know, there's a lot of people out here that see that what's going on, and those are the ones I do admire. You know, those are the ones that make me get up in the morning and you know keep creating art and trying to share my thoughts. And I believe that's what really it all matters is like you have to still look for those who you love because there's people out there that are your soul tribe, you know, and you have to find your soul tribe. Be happy. Yes. That's the thing. You have to find your soul tribe. You know, you can't let people control your feelings. You know, you can't let people um, you know, deviate your path. You know, and that's why I do like the song by Bob Marley. Don't worry, be happy. Let's get together and feel alright. You know, and that's why they had to take him out because he was so positive. What was this about? Well, this live stream is about how the world feels extremely fake. And I mean, it just feels like you have to find your peace. You have to, Warriors of the Rainbow. It's like you have to find your own peace in this world. You know, that's why I don't let people get to me anymore because I think the more like I remove myself from this matrix, the more I remove myself from the world and and it's like, and that's why people say, you should really control, your lust, control your, drinking and drugs. And that's completely true. And I agree. I shouldn't smoke. And I shouldn't drink. It doesn't help. It makes me dependent on the matrix. All that stuff does is make you dependent. On stimulances from the matrix because you can't find peace within yourself. Alcohol doesn't help you find peace within yourself. Drugs, weed doesn't help you find peace within yourself. Sex definitely doesn't help you find peace within yourself. The whole point of sex is to find peace within someone else. And it doesn't make you. It keeps you constantly thriving external stimulus. You know, and that's how they control you. That's why they call you know alcohol spirits. Because they want to put those demonic spirits in you. Demonic spirits are obsessive of the material realm. They love the material realm. All our temporary happiness. Yes, yes. And I'm not perfect. I still am fighting with those sins. You know, because that's the point. I mean, it's even said that the devil is seductive. That's why it's hard. It's like, the devil is seductive. It's easier to, after work drink a six pack of beer, get drunk, and have a good time than um, after work, go for a jog, you take a shower, make yourself a nutritional dinner with like, chicken breast, organic chicken breast, olive oil, some organic brown rice, and not go do Uber Eats, actually order the food. I mean, actually make the food, make a healthy salad, you know. It's harder to do all that than to drink a six pack, order Taco Bell, get a burrito supreme. I was here about a month ago. Welcome back, welcome back. God bless you. Angels see all. The angels do see all. You know, and that's the thing. You need to forgive yourself, and and that's the thing is like I'm fighting my demons too every day. You know, that's why I'm glad that I was able to not let this recent event drag me into like a emotional wreck. You know, I didn't let this, recent, you know, event, make me depressed. Which in if it was like 5 years ago, I'd probably be very depressed. But 5 years ago, I was very worldly, and even before that, I was way more worldly. Like, I look at the stuff of how I was back then. The older I get, the more I'm like, I'm growing more and more away from that, you know. Um, and I'm finding more peace within myself, like morning. Good morning. Are you saved? I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I don't know. I think that I don't really like the whole term "Are you saved?" I mean, I think we're all saved because Jesus died for our sins. But I think that we still need to work on our, repenting and, finding peace within ourselves. I don't think that we should stay, you know, stay stagnant, and stay comfortable. I think that life it should be like, I think we should live life like Jesus, and our whole life should be a feeling that we're being crucified. That we should always feel like we're pushing ourselves, challenging ourselves. We should never feel like, oh, there's nothing else I could. I got everything figured out. No, I think life is that you could always improve yourself. You could always do better. Growing up, don't makes good people bad, and early to bed, early to rise, healthy, wealthy, and wise. Yes, DCN. I totally agree with that. I totally agree that alcohol does make good people. What did you say? Um, makes good people bad. Yes, I agree. You will pay for your own sins. They're your sins. That's just something they told you. Another lie. Yes, yes, I agree. Exactly. I've told that to a few people around me that you never stop learning. Yes, and that's another thing is that I don't think that we should ever feel like we are accomplished or we are complete. I think life is a working and like a work in progress. You know, life is a work in progress. You know, and we can't stop learning. And I think that your true friends are those who know or who know that you're growing. Your true friends are the type of people that'll be there next to you at your worst and still support you. Not that you're doing the wrong thing. They'll be telling you, hey, you're doing something bad. Like if you're drinking all the time or something, or if you're smoking all the time, they'll tell you, hey, man, you need to stop doing that. You know, they're not gonna tell you, yeah, man, how about another drink? No, they're not gonna be that. That's not a friend. That's someone. That's someone that's a toxic person that's trying to ruin your life. You know, but it's like you need to be around people who do care. Um, well, I'm a Jew. I'm a Jewish. My grandmother's Christian, and I spend more time around her. Why does this guy one look like one of the Lucas Bros moving company? If you're not learning, I'd be scared. Yeah, I mean, it just feels like, you know, we have to just get ready. I think that it's like I feel like the trumpet has been rung. I think that we really are in a new era now. I mean, all of our media has been kind of psychologically programming us, pre-programming us for what's to come. I mean, Endgame, like the Avengers movies pre-programmed us um uh about COVID, you know, and and there's a lot of other movies that are like, kind of programmed us for what's to come that. I mean, even Doomsday, the movie Avengers Doomsday is coming out the year that it feels like we're in Doomsday, which is just very weird and convenient. You know, The Force Awakens, it feels like, there's been awakening in the world. You know, are you smoking something or is it your normal self? This is my normal self. Everybody always thinks I'm smoking something because I'm weird. I just think I'm weird. That's the thing. I'm just, I'm not, I act, I, I don't know. I've always been very, like, unique. And everybody's always thought I was like odd. This is what happens when you smoke weed, but ain't no one want to talk about it. But it just feels like it looks like we're living in a new world. You know, and the thing that's sad, the saddest to me is that I feel like I'm going to end up leaving a lot of people behind. Authentic is way is Authentic is the way to be. That's how I feel. I trust people that are more. I trust people who are authentic. I trust people who are odd. All my best friends I've ever had were like odd and authentic and weird. Usually were people that most people didn't get along with or picked on. You know, so it's like that's why I never get my feelings that hurt when people pick on me because I just don't feel like I'm from this planet anyway. I feel like I'm an alien from a different planet, a whole new world. Yes, this world is changing. I feel like we're literally in a whole new world. And I'm a millennial, and I don't know how many millennials are on here, but it just feels like our generation of you like people, this is like we're living I truly believe this is the weirdest time in human history, and it's like we're the only generation that kind of notices it because we grew through so many like world-changing events, like the 2000s with the internet and stuff. We went through the internet age. We went through 9/11. We went through, the housing crisis. We went through the first black president of America. You know, we went through the beginning of AI, you know, and now we're going through this. Now we're going through World War III, which could very well be the end of the world. It's like, and that's the thing. And now they're talking about nuking Iran and stuff. It's like, bro, it's like I barely could pay my rent, and now you're telling me we're gonna nuke Iran. And the thing is, scares me is that our government talks about Iran as if there's not a bunch of sleeper cell people. Like, and it's like that you're building a lot more. That Iran had a lot of modern areas, where people were like not really as radically religious. And now you're bombing all these like modern places, and now you're gonna build way more radical people who are not gonna be negotiative. They're gonna just remember what you did, you know. And it's just like, but it's like we need to stop saying Trump because it's not Trump. You know, there's people pulling the strings that are in the shadows. There's people that have been rulers of this planet since medieval times, since before then, like in Kemet, like since the Anunnaki. You're talking about royal bloodlines that have power that just control the world. Like, you know, so it's like we're really living in like what feels like the back rooms. Like it really feels like the back rooms. You know, if you guys don't know about the back rooms, I tell you, man, that's why back rooms creeps me out because my life truly feels like I'm in the back rooms. You know, it's like you could become the furniture, you know, and just be like just the props in the background observing everything. Or you could be the person who's real, but the curse to being real in this world is that it looks like the back rooms. It feels like everything is just a catacombs and a labyrinth. You know, a lie within a lie within a lie. You know, it's like the Matrix movies. It's like, you know, a matrix within a matrix within a matrix. You know, and that's what's so scary. Is this feels like, is there anything that's real? You know, when you're younger, you don't see these things, and then as you get older, you realize it, and then it's just kind of like. But it's kind of the scary thing to me is that when you do realize it, and you look to your parents or your friends or your, you know, your love interest, it's like the Truman Show. They just kind of stare at you like you're crazy, like, you know. And then people, and I think due to you scaring them, you know, and making them realize that they're living in illusion, they try to dehumanize you by treating you like you're crazy, you know. And then sometimes it does feel like you're crazy because no one understands. Yes, I think. Well, I wasn't talking about the. I mean, that's totally a good example of what I'm talking about. Plato's allegory of the cave. I love that example. I totally agree. People would rather be in the cave looking at the shadow puppets than go outside and see the truth. This all turn out better than you thought. We're in the fourth turning. They're always messy. It's the age of Aquarius. I agree. I agree. 82, 92. I totally agree that this is, and I feel like that's why I'm not scared. I believe that this is a change that is needed. You know, that we need this transformation. This is needed. That's why a lot of people I feel are, you know, they're not they're not accepting the change. They're pretending that it's not happening. And I'm telling you that it's like those are gonna be the same people that are gonna suffer the worst. The ones that who didn't accept that there was a change coming. That kind of like, and I don't believe the people are just accepting it at the last minute, like, oh, now it's coming. It's like, no, 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 no. You're not really accepting it. You're just basically you're only reacting at the last minute. You know, it's like when we should have been, you know, preparing and getting to higher ground before the, you know, the tsunami came to wash everything away. You know, we're preparing everything. You're too busy pretending it wasn't existing. Now it's about to knock your house down. You're gonna try to, you know, you want to react now. And it's like no, you know, and that's why it's just like, you know, we gotta worry about our own path because, you know, we gotta worry about our own path because we don't have we it's just it's you know there's been enough warnings for everybody. There's enough warnings for everybody to see, you know, and the answer is love, you know, and the truth is love, and it's like I think the people that are really gonna make it are the ones that love each other, you know, because I don't think making it is getting the mark of the beast and playing along with the elites. You know, I think that, you know, you have to follow your heart, you know, in these days, you know. That's the thing, and it's gonna get much uglier. Yes, I totally agree. Yes, I agree with Yeshua at the end. Up next, Project Bluebeam, or okay, uh, heads up, don't fall for another lie. And that's the crazy thing is people still saying conspiracy theory. You know what's funny? People still saying conspiracy theory, conspiracy theory. It's like, dude, the files clearly show that everything that was quote unquote a conspiracy theory is not a conspiracy theory. So it's just like at this point, people still talking about conspiracy theories. I mean, you're just I don't know. You just don't want to. I think it's just too scary, and it's like I think really, and it's like you can't hate on people. Some people because I think that a lot of people, man, a lot of people have lived regular lives, never had people around them talking about deep stuff like this. And then one day it just comes unravels in front of them. You know, and I think we gotta understand, we gotta have pity too. Like in the Bible it says, have pity for they they dive or they lose for a lack of knowledge or and that's true. I think it's just a lot of people in this reality that really are just ignorant. And then, you can't hate people that are ignorant. We have to have pity and mercy for our brothers and sisters that are ignorant and hope that God saves them, their souls, as God saves our souls, because we still could be wicked too, so it's like we should never look down upon others and shame others and and be like, yes, I'm better. They're all going to suffer. It's because it's like, hey, who knows if we're going to fall? It's like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I could still be a sinner. I'm still a sinner. So it's like I don't know. So that's why I think it's the best thing to do is tell people to worship God and follow God, and so that you give everybody a fair chance, an equal fair chance. Because God gave you a chance. Because I don't think God appreciate you giving you a chance and then you basically taking covering the path and or cutting the ladder from under you so no one else gets to the top either. I think once you get to heaven, God will be like, yo, so I gave you a chance to hurt everybody else? The hell? Yes, I totally agree. People judge one another when it's the Lord's position. Yes, I totally agree with that. I really do agree with that. And it's not my position to judge you, and it's not your position to judge me. You know, it's like, you know, it's just we could just really show each other um the certain ways that we believe are righteous, and it's up to us, but at the end of the day it's up to you. It's up to each and every one of you to make your own decisions, because we're all our own people. you know Unconditional love is a good aspiration. Yes, yes, I totally believe. And that's the thing, I don't want to carry judgment or resentment to people who I can't save. It's just the bottom line is that we're in the end now. We're really in the end of the fake. I believe what's going to happen next is going to be so terrifying. Like, I mean, we might see nuclear war. Like, and I don't know. Like, I don't feel good. Like, it feels like that's why there's a joy in me. Like, because I think there's like, it's almost like you know a test that you weren't ready to pass. But even if you do or do not, since it's over, it's over. So it's almost like that pressure before the quiz, and it's like even if you fail or you don't fail, it's almost like it's almost like I feel like I'm just waiting for it to be over. Like I just want to get through to the next stage. So it's like, okay, let's just get past it so we at least know what we're in now. Because I believe what comes next is just going to be flat out the truth. Because I think what the elites have so much power that they don't have to lie anymore. It's like, and I feel like they're almost that's why they're getting sloppy now because they're almost like, yo, we don't even need to really lie to you guys because it's like, what are you guys gonna do? There's plenty of you that are domesticated enough that will just be subservient no matter what. You know, I'm telling you, like, dude, they could literally roll out a statue of Ball in Washington D.C. and to replace the Lincoln, the Lincoln Memorial statue, and people still probably be like, well, this is This is okay. I mean, as long as I could get my rent paid, you know, as long as I could, get groceries, as long as I could watch Seinfeld, you know, because that's the thing. People would rather be comfortable than fight for the truth. And it's easy to sit back and say we'll fight for the truth. It's like no one really knows what they'll do. You know, and that's again why I think it's not good to judge people because you don't know what someone is willing to do. It could be the person that seems like they're the most nonchalant or like, oh, that person will never fight. And then it'll be the person sitting there saying, man, I'll do this, I'll do that. And then the person saying they wouldn't do anything, they'll be the one saving everybody. And it'll be the person preaching, saying, man, I'll fight. I'll be the first one in line to combat. And then they'll be like, hey, guys, so you guys got this? See you later. See you later. So that's what I'm saying. I would never judge anybody because who knows what I'm capable of, you know. And that's why I pray that God gives me strength to do what I must and when it's time, you know, you know, that's the thing. It's like we can't be performative. And that's why I have joy in my heart because it's like, man, I can't be mad because there's people out there really putting their lives online, man. There's people out there, who am I to be sitting here depressed when there's people out there, journalists in war zones, filming like dead bodies and stuff and seeing like, mutilated kids and stuff. Like, who am I to be depressed? I think it's gross to be depressed, and when you're blessed, it's like, and even if you are in a war zone, you're still blessed as long as you still breathe, and as long as you still have a heartbeat, and even if you die, you're still blessed as long as you still have faith in God. You're blessed. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, so it's like that's the thing. We have to stop letting sadness is the devil. Depression is the devil. There's no reason to be sad or depressed. For this too shall pass. Everything passes. A troll saying something mean, that shall pass. There's nothing a troll can do to take your God's love from you. The devil thrives in depression. The devil thrives in fear. The devil thrives in doubt. And sadness. It's like that's why you're attacked when you're confident, when you have joy. That's why is when you're at your when you're in the most happiest. That's when you get people that insult you. That's when people act disrespectful. To ruin your day. And it's like. And when you're at your saddest or the most depressed, then you have all the people come to you and try to be kind and it's weird like that. But that's that's the way it is. You have to yeah. It's just we have the strength. We have all the power we need. See, the lie mankind has fell for is that power is money. Power is you status. Power is resources and all that. No, power is your faith in God. If your power if your power is being you know but as I was saying, they say that power is resources, but the power is your peace. The power is your faith in God and your faith. That's your power. You know, because as long as you have faith and power, you could do anything. You know, I've gone through so much in my life, and especially in the past couple of years, that if I didn't have faith in God, I would have crashed out. I would have just been gone. Like I was in some dark, 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 dark places, man. Like I was about to lose everything, and I felt like it was over. You know, what is your religion? I don't believe in organized religion, but I would associate more with Christianity. I was raised as a Jew or Hebrew, but then I lived with my grandma. And she was Christian, and I don't know. I kind of now I'm more just believe in God. I don't believe in religion. I have faith in God. I don't really like religion. I think God speaks through us. You don't really need a book to tell you this what what God speaks to your heart, you know. But Yeah, it's just I have joy, like that's the thing. I have joy in my heart. Everything is going to be okay. You know, I really do. I really do think everything is going to be okay. And it's like, and I think that when we have fear, only way we have fear is if we are subservient to this world. If we worship man's world, because the thing is, man's world is about to end. I think that's the thing. If you should be scared if you live in man's world, if you're only of man's world, if you're only of man's world, then it's like, oh my God, we're all gonna die. But if you're with God, then it's like, okay, I'll be okay as long as I have God, as long as I have faith in God. It looks like it's from the 90s. Maybe because it's a yellow room, it looks like it's from the back rooms. So we're in the back rooms right now. But earlier I was saying that it feels like we're in the back rooms. But even if I was in the back rooms, I'll still be praying to God. It should even in the back rooms. I'll be well. It's like it's just. I think as long as you have faith, you know, I don't care. Even Blair Witch, yeah, Blair Witch for real, or Blair Witch. Shit, I'll be the one black character sitting there praying to God, like, "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be." So Blair Witch wouldn't be able to touch me. I'll wake up the next day; it'll be like a regular day. So, yeah, I'll just be praying. It's like, hey, if you're of this world, you know, it's like, and this thing is like, and this thing, and that's why Jesus said to leave your worldly possessions behind. Then you'll be safe. You'll always be safe as long as you're willing to leave your worldly possessions behind. You know what you think heaven's like. I feel like I passed. I actually had. I passed away for like I think a couple seconds when I had surgery, and I truly believe I saw heaven, and it's just white light. It's just and we're all just like orbs, and it's just peace. It's like it's literally just it's like what they say, like it's like a castle of clouds, but it's like mist. And it's just peace, and it's just orbs, and it's really, and that movie, that jazz singer, the Pixar movie, with that jazz singer, and how they're all going to one light together to be unified in one big light. I truly think that's heaven, is all of us coming together as one with the Almighty. I think that's heaven. Heaven is just becoming all just one big light. It's where you're not thinking about a house, you're not thinking about a family, you're just thinking about being one with everything. You know, and I think that movie's kind of cool. Yeah, I remember the soul. Yeah, the soul. Yeah, yeah. That movie's. I saw the movie, and that movie actually made me like made me come to tears. Like that movie's beautiful. That soul movie really was beautiful because it was talking about death. It was literally talking about death. It's like one of the scariest things. It's really, really bold movie for a kid movie. I was like, wow, and no one really talks about it. The movie's very underrated. I think it's a very beautiful movie. It's really about death and stuff, and it's about like people's fear of dying and stuff. And it's almost showing like how he had plans, and then he died before he was able to go and do what he wanted to do. And he's like, wait a minute, I didn't get to. But it's almost like saying like you. That's it's almost showing like what you should have been doing in your life instead of being ambitious and spending your whole life trying to achieve this worldly goal of like I want to be this number one singer. You should have been enjoying your life with your family and having memories and loving, your friends and and your girlfriends, your boyfriends and your brothers, your sisters, your father, your mother, the dinners you had, and all those little moments, those quiet little moments, like I think that's what was really beautiful about that movie, and it even hits me right now, like how beautiful that is, and it's just like. And I think that's really what life is about, like, we have to find a way to become one with each other and one with you know, the Almighty, you know? Chicken Run is a movie that opens the mind too. I saw the movie when I was really young too. I really like that movie, that claymation movie, Chicken Run. Um, Yeah, is it Chicken Run or is it the um is it Chicken Run with the claymation? Let me know in the chat. I think Chicken Run is a claymation movie because um because then I'm confusing it because there's another movie with a chicken and it involves you aliens. I think it's Chicken Little. I think that movie was called. I forget. But no, yeah, I have joy. You know, like this past couple of 4 days. I've been pretty. It's been a weird balance of like sad, happy, sad, happy. And, I've just kind of reached a point where I'm joyful again. And it's just like, and I do appreciate, you know, the people on the chat, that have been positive and, you know, um, you know, supported me and said some, uplifting things, you know, and, I appreciate the people who weren't, that kind of test me, and because sometimes, I think as a man, you need to have some grit too. You need to have people who test you. You can't have, you need balance. That's why we have mothers and fathers. You need a father to test you, and then push you, and then you need a mother to nurture you and say she loves you. And that's the thing. You need that yin and yang. You need that masculine and feminine. You need the good and the bad. Some people they always want good. Sometimes you need someone to tell you, hey, you're doing something wrong. Because that's what you need to hear. It's not healthy to always hear positivity all the time. You know, but the real ones are the ones that get come through on the other end. And don't buckle under change. This round, but thanks, bro. You're supporting us too. I try to support people by being honest and as authentic as I can as a content creator because I see online there's like so many content creators that are just like fake, but and it's nothing against them, it's like some people are on here just strictly for monetary gain, you know, bro, it's stuttering a lot. What is the video stuttering? Maybe it's the connection, but I'm about to wrap it up. It's about to be an hour and 30 minutes, pretty long live. I'm gonna take it because I gotta go soon. It's like 5. I gotta catch a train in like 3 hours. But yeah, you know, I have joy in my heart now. I'm just trying to keep peace, and you know, I think if I could leave any message behind before leaving, I would say, you um, have faith over everything. Have faith, you know, no matter what they throw at you. I'm gonna say a prayer for leaving. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, and forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is glory and power forever. Thank you, Lord, for the blessings you've given me. May you please put a wedge of protection around my family, my friends, those on our chat right now watching over me. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the second chance at life you've given me. Please guide me to peace, prosperity, and independence, because I feel when I'm alone with you, my Lord, I am more able to hear your voice. Um, Give me strength to sit in the silence more often and hear your voice. Please guide me through these end times, for there's a transition to something more beautiful to come. Thank you for everything you've done for me, Lord. Amen. You have a good life. I know it. Thank you. You as well. God bless you. Hi. Can you read my chat? I guess I just read your chat. Well, I hope you all have a great week. I'm gonna try to do lives every day. You know, usually I do these lives in the morning, sometimes very early, or around 7 o'clock. Um, I really appreciate all of you. Um, God bless all of you. I really needed someone to talk to. It's been, and I do like, the positive people on here that give me their blessings, and it just reminds me that there's other people out there, and that gives me strength. You Roman King BC, God bless you. Um, I'm gonna end this chat now. Unfortunately, I wish we could. I wish I could do this forever, but until next time, ladies and gentlemen, may God be with you. Peace and out.